Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Looking at the DXY on the daily, nothing's changed. It's been like this for a long time. We're looking at this, I'm looking at this as a B wave, and then we get a C down in here for an A, B, C, then possibly more upside. So nothing's changed on the daily. It's still looking rather bearish in here on the H4. Last couple of weeks, it's been looking very bearish in here. Looks to be finally starting to break to the downside. We already had the 5 down in here on the H1, but this is looking very corrective in here. You have to be very careful though, because we'd be looking for a correction after 5 down, these W, X, Y, X2 and this Z down. We'd be looking for a larger correction than these over here. So you will have to be careful, because this may be an A, B, C here and give you another one up for an A, B, C, giving you a larger correction before you get another 5 down. But if you get any bearish setup, I'll just check the lower time frame. Yes, you will have to be extremely careful selling this at this stage, because we do have a bull hidden here. So yeah, like I said, this may be an A, a B, and we get a C down in here, and then we get that A, B, C. There's really no buy setup on it. You'd have to go down to the lower time frames and see if there's a buy setup on it to get that C up. But then if you get that C up, well, then you'd be looking for the sell as soon as this top here is broken. AU on the daily. So we got these 3 down in here, and I'm looking for an A, B, C. This A, B, C here didn't go. Instead, we got an impulse, 3 down. So I'm looking for another impulse in here. H4, we're waiting for that time factor, and we do have that time factor now. So we're looking for this wave Z up. We got this like W, X, Y, X2, and we get this Z up. We do have a bull hidden in here on the H4. H1 at this stage, there's a bear hidden in here, so you still got to be rather careful. In between here, we got cross, and we got that bear hidden here. But I would be looking at any buy setup. You know, if you got a nice, 50 fib retrace of this, say, nice looking correction in here, you could look for at least a C up, and ideally it gives you that H4 wave Z up. UI, nothing's changed. I should have really have moved these to what we're actually looking at for quite some time now. We're looking at this A, B, and a C. So we're looking for upside. Page 4, we're still in this wave Y. We're looking for a correction similar size to this over here. we don't have that yet. So we're still in this wave Y. We got this WX. We're in a wave Y. You wait for that X2, and then you look for that wave Z up. At this stage, it becomes risky because we didn't get that larger correction. It was nowhere near the same size. So this is on the H1, we got a WX, and we'll get a wave Y up or an ABC. So here you could go down onto the lower time frames and give it a scalp. I'd be looking at this flat in here. And we get like an A, B, C up in here. On the M15, you could look for a buy. If you got a nice, very similar to AU, you'd be looking for a 50 pip retrace of this impulse here. And if this looks very corrective, and then you get a buy set up, you can look to at least an A, B, C, and ideally it goes a little bit further than you think. But on this one, we are still in that wave Y on the H4. So how far this will go, is anyone's guess, really. EU on the daily. I'll put this out, this count out quite a while ago. We got this 1, 2, 3 down in here, and I'm looking for an A, B, C up in here, and then an A, B, C. It's pretty self-explanatory, an A, B, C. So I'm looking for upside. I'm looking at an extended wave Y here on the H4. So we got a WX extended wave Y, then I'll be looking for the X2 and a wave Z up. In the wave Y, we got this WXY, X2. I'd be looking for a wave Z up and then a larger correction. Correction similar size to this. Once that top's broken. Once this top here is broken, then I'd be looking for the larger correction and then more upside for the wave Z. This is going to be very difficult to trade at this stage. We do have a bear hidden here. It's not valid, but it doesn't mean that it won't go and break this low. So again, very similar to GU and AU, I'd be waiting for a nice correction in here Monday, Tuesday, and then you could look to go and break that top. I've already got the targets on here. I was looking for it to go here, come straight back down, didn't give us an entry, and it got a lower low. Now we've got another impulse up, so we look for it again. These are the targets here. 123.6 and the 161.8 as the first and the second target. And you on the daily, I put this out a long time ago, this trade here on TradingView, but I'm looking for an A, B, C up to this 100 pip. That's the first target. Second target's at 161.8 just up here. I'll just show you that trade that I put out 15th of April. I put this out And as you can see, we're getting this move up in here. So sort of getting extended wave in here as well on the lower time frame in this wave Y. This is looking still very much bullish. If I go down to the so this is, I'll remove that. This is more of a WXY X2, and we get a Z up in here in the wave Y, in the H4 wave Y. So it may be quite difficult to get in. It's very choppy. It's not giving us very nice setups. I've got a couple of break-even trades on this. You know, I got on this here and it went up and broke the top. This was a news event that gave us that spike. I got in it, but then it comes straight back down. Took the second half out at break even, broke the low. I think I gave it another go here. Come down, take me out at break even. So it's been very difficult to trade, and really even now it is extremely difficult to trade. Yeah, there's really ideally this one does come down, break the low again, and then gives us a nice buy setup on the lower time frames to buy, because this is some sort of like an A, B, C here. It may be a contracting flat in here, and then we get an A, B, C. So this whole correction may not be over yet on the H1, but again, like the other major pairs, you know, if you do get a buy set up on it, you know, you could give it a go and just get it to break even as soon as you can, and ideally it goes for you. GY on the daily, nothing really to see here. You know, we're right at the top of the market. We're getting bearish divergence. You know, there's really not much to trade on this. The H4, we did have that bull hidden here. We got that bull hidden here, like I mentioned at the time, and I said we'd probably get a deep correction here, or it goes and breaks the top. Well, it looks like it's going to even go and break the top, but as soon as this top here is broken, we're going to start getting that bearish divergence. So I'd be looking for at least an A, a B if that top gets broken, and then a C down as a running or expanding flat, and then, you know, more upside. Or even now, like I'd be looking at an A, B, a regular flat, just come down, just break that low if this top here doesn't get broken as a regular flat. And then, you know, if you got the buy set up, you could buy down here. No point buying up here. You know, there were a couple of little trades down here on the lower time frame to get that. With that bull hidden. So, you know, if you're not in this buy down here, you really, there's no sell set up on it either for this C down. Eventually we'll get a C down in here, and then, you know, you could look for a sell in here if you got a sell set up as well. Trade these C down, and then you'll be trading a C up for an A, B, C, C down, and then like an A, B, C up. But at this stage, there really isn't much on it. There's no, I'd be more interested in a sell setup than a buy setup, right up the top of the market. UY, I'm looking at this A, all this is a B, and then we get a C down before we get more upside for an A, B, C. H4 is where it gets interesting. Again, this had that bull hidden as well. You know, we had that bull hidden as well here. This one hasn't gone as far up as what GY did. But this is some sort of an A, B, C in here. If I just zoom in, I'll get this. I'll clean the chart up a bit so we can see this. So I'd be looking at a more complex correction here. We're looking for a time factor, this here. So this is going to be quite choppy for some time. But I'd be looking at it like an A, B, C in here, some sort of a correction in here, and then we get an A, B, C before we get an A, B, C, filling in that time factor. And then if you've got the buy set up over here for the H4 X2, then you can trade that wave Z up. If I just zoom this out, so this is what I'm looking at here, zoomed out. I dare say this is the end of wave Y. We're looking for that time factor here. So I'm looking at that like WXY, X2 and a Z up. And I just showed you a possible correction we may get. We'll never know in advance exactly what correction we'll get, but that's the sort of pattern I'd be looking at this stage. UCAD, this is extremely choppy. Looking for a little bit more upside in here. Ever since we didn't get this wave Z up, breaking that top, it's really turned ugly in here. It's more scalping than anything. Still looking rather bullish. It's still looking rather bullish. It did try to break out here. We did get like 1, 2, 3 down in here. There was a buy set up in here to get that, but it's come straight back down. So you may or may not have. You may still be in it, or you may be out of it. Now it's really more of a sell on the lower time frames. I mean, on this time frame here, the H1, we do have a bull hidden here, but there's no confirmation of it. So it's more of a sell on the M15. On the M15, I'd be looking for, a 50 pip correction of that. If this looks very corrective in here, and then gives you like a sell setup, you could look for at least an A, B, C on the M15. So I can't really go into any more than that, but this is basically what we trade in the group. At this stage, you could get a little buy in here on the M5, very risky trade, or the M1, for example. You could scalp this. You got an impulse correction, and you probably get 5 up in here, just a small little wave in here. Before you get large correction, 3 up, and then you'd be looking for the sell. The Swissy, looking for downside at this stage. We got this, if I just zoom out a bit, we got this ABC, bounced off the lower trend line, got a nice impulse up. I'm waiting for that correction in this B wave, and then I can look for that C up. So this is a time factor in here. This could take quite some time to give us that larger correction. Sort of looking at this as the expanding flat still, but it's, take that off. I sort of was looking for a sell setup here during the week. We got this A, B, C, and I was looking for an impulse down and possible sell setup. We haven't got that yet. There's no sell on it. It's more bullish. Yeah, see, I'm on it right down here for this buy, and it's still looking very much bullish. It's we don't have any impulse down. That's a problem. I'll go down to the M30 actually. See, the M30 was starting to get bearish divergence, so it becomes risky. We got this A, B, C, sort of another correction here. May or may not have gone broke that top on this platform. It looks like it has just. Yeah, it's very close. Looks like a double top here. So yeah, wait. I mean, this is still very much bullish, but yeah, there's really not much on it at this stage. It's going to be a risky trade to buy, especially on the M50, M30. We got starting to get bearish divergence, so yeah, I'd be leaving alone for a while. EG really want this to go and break that low. Now we had that A, B, and extended wave C. We got that W, X, Y, X2, and we get that Z down in here. This, like I've been mentioning for quite a few weeks now, this is looking very bearish. I want it to go and break the lows. Once it's broken those lows, then we can start to load up on it. It can even get back to this 100 fib here for this like A, B, C. Ideally, we come and break these lows and then get a buy set up. And it should be a good buy once we do get that buy set up. More than likely, there's no divergence in here, so more than likely we'll get a little bit more downside in here, and I really hope we do, because then I'll look for the buy. I'm not really interested in the sell. I want to see all the lows broken and then load up on this buy, because we could get a reasonably big move up on this. Looking at WTI, it still is possible we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up in here. I'm looking at it as a B wave though, and then we get an A, B, C, and then an A, B, C. So that's, but we do have 5 down here now on the H4. Well, the H4, if I zoom out, looking for this W, X, Y, X2, and we get a Z up here. I can't really go into how we get this count, but this in here, like internally in this X2, we get 5 down in here, and this is what I've pretty much been saying on the weekly outlooks. We've been looking at this W, X, Y, X2, and we got that Z down. It did go and break the lows. It didn't get down to my target, the first and the second target yet, though. That 123.6 and the 161.8. Unfortunately, it didn't quite get there. It has broken the low though, and that's all it needs to do. So if we get a buy set up on it, we really, might be worth taking. This may not be over yet, the downside though. We have a bear hidden in here. So this can be a flat, an A, B, C here as your flat, and then you get an A, B, C, and you get more downside. So at this stage, it really depends on what price action we get Monday, Tuesday, because you could. I mean, I'll be only really looking for the buys because we have the 5 down on the H4, so I wouldn't really be looking for the sell. I'd let the sell come down and then look for the buy. But if you wanted to scalp it, you'd be scalping it on the low time frames, waiting for a bearish setup to scalp to go and break the low with that bear hidden. Other than that, if this turns bullish in here and corrective in here, I would even give this a go, because on the H4 we do have those 5 down. So, you know, any buy setup, I'd be looking for the buy. It either gives you a buy setup here, or it gives you a sell in here, comes down, breaks the low, and then gives you the buy down here. Either or, you know, I'll be looking to buy this after a correction. Really, if we get a correction in here, I'll even look to buy that. If I get the nice correction and a buy setup. Looking at, excuse me, gold on the daily. We're waiting for this time factor on gold. You know, we're waiting for that time factor here, looking at WXY, waiting for the time factor in X2, and then I'll be looking for that wave Z up. It has already gone and broken the top in here on the lower time frames. See, on the H4, you know, we got that bull hidden here, and it's gone up and broken the top. Now it's more of a sell. You know, we're getting this impulse down here. So if you got a bearish setup in here, you could look for at least an A, B, C. Yep, that's pretty much all there is on it. And this may turn out to be like a larger correction as the A, B, C here, as a running or expanding flat before we get more upside. This can be a C down in here, so you got to be careful. You know, this can end if it doesn't give you that nice bearish correction in here. You know, you leave it alone, because it may give you a buy setup. Right? Nice impulse up and correction, and then a buy setup, and this is a flat. So you know, you just got to be a bit careful. You are buying right at the top of the market though, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Silver's very similar, you know, not much difference between gold and silver. We got that WXY. We're still in that wave Y. We're looking for that X2, and then we'll be trading that wave Z up. H4, we got the 5 up. We're looking for this 5th one up here. I even put this in the room. On excuse me, on YouTube, these targets. We got that like WXY, X2. We had that ball hidden here. We were looking for this wave Z up. It's gone up to both targets, the 123.6 and the second target, the 161.8. Sort of bounced off that 161.8. So again, like gold, it's more bearish now. We don't have any bearish divergence in here though. So I'd be just looking for a larger correction, possibly 50 fib retracement of all this. These 5 waves up. That was a shocking. But I'd be looking for a 50 fib retrace of these 5 up here in a correction, some sort of a, you know, we may get 5 down in here, a larger correction, and then we can start to look for the buy. Looking for that X2 on the daily. So yeah, we're looking for that time factor, larger correction. Bitcoin, like I've mentioned, we got that time factor. Any buy setup you get, you know, look for the buy. We had that WXY, and we were waiting for that time factor. And then we got that time factor and a buy setup, you know. So you should, if you trade this, you should already be in it. We've got the targets here, the 123.6 and the 161.8 for those targets in the wave Z. Or wave 5, whichever way you look at it. On the H4, you probably get another opportunity here to buy to the targets, the daily targets. We've got this like WXY. We're starting to get a correction in here for an X2, and then I'd be looking for that wave Z up. S&P 500. You know, we're starting to get bearish divergence here now. You know, just broken the top. I was looking for, you know, a correction in here after the 5 up for more downside. Instead, it went up and broke the top again. On the H4, I should have really had these counts on here. But we had that correction in there. Now we're getting another correction here. So I would be waiting for the time factor here. I don't think it's quite got the time factor yet. Oh yes, we sort of do have the time factor there, but not quite. But like we've been looking for a WXY, we're waiting for that correction, X2, and then trade that wave Z up. This definitely can be the complete of the correction here. It wasn't quite as large as X1. I'll just put this count on. The H1, you may get a buy set up on here. It's risky because it's an expanding flat. But if you get a buy set up in here, Monday, Tuesday, you can look for a buy to go and break the top. Even, well, ideally that top, but ideally, well, it only really has to break this top. But if it goes and breaks both the tops, the better it'll be. U200 getting a lot of resistance to this 100 fib. We got that A, B. We're looking for this wave C up to that 100 fib. It got to that 100 fib and we got a nice impulse down, but it's gone up and retesting that 100 fib again. I dare say there's a bull hidden in here. There may be a bull hidden. Go down to the lower time frame. No. So yeah, I mean, this can be another one up in here, and this is some sort of a flat here. So we get a W, X, Y, X2, and we get a Z up here, and we got a flat here. So again, you could look for the buy. Quite risky at this stage. You would be right down onto the lower time frames to get this buy. But yeah, you're getting a little flag in here to possibly buy. Yeah, and if you're looking to go and break the top, the FTSE, this is gone right up now. So we got this like W, X, Y. You wait for that X2, and then we can look for a wave Z up. So this is, we'll be looking for a correction in here. We may get a bull hidden in here. Yeah, more than likely we'll get a bull hidden. So yeah, it's more bullish. It's very choppy on the way down. So more than likely we'll get a correction in here, a bull hidden, and more upside. Right. This is a really choppy instrument to trade, so you got to be careful. The H1, there isn't any bullish divergence, so on the lower time frame, it's more than likely a buy at this stage for 3 up. But see, you have to be very careful because the M15, we have a bear hidden here. We get an A, we get a B, and a C up. If it doesn't go and break this top up here, it'll come down and that bear hidden will play out, and this low will be broken. So you could look for the C up, get it to break even at the break of this top, because it may not go very much further, and it may not even break this top here. If you get it on this you know, for this C up here, and it does go and break that top, well, you can hold it. You can hold it then, and wait for 5 up. Lastly, the DAX. This is still looking very bullish up here. This one's pretty much played out because, you know, we had that correction in there to buy, another bull hidden in here on the lower time frames to buy, and go down to the lower time frame. Right. And so we had that bull hidden in here to give us that another wave up in here, and it still looks bullish over here. So it's really, I mean, you can buy it on the lower time frames and just scalp the buy until you get the sell, nice impulse down and a sell set up, you know, then you could look for the sell. At this stage, it's still rather bullish, and you'd be buying right at the top of the market. So, you know, this is more of like a WXY, getting an X2 here, you'd be looking to trade that wave Z up, breaking that top. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.